Hello again folks, and welcome to my next video for Champ Manager 0102 with Nottingham Forest, undertaking the challenge of restoring Nottingham Forest back to the glory days, top in the Premier League. So let's see how that goes, because we're now in the Premier League. This is the start of the second season here. So I'm just going to recap on a few things for you. So finances, totally sorted out now. Club status is actually now rich, which is great. So got 22 million in the bank there, and they have upgraded to a youth academy, so looking really good there training wise. These are the players that I've got in for the new season so far. I'm going to have to pick up a few goalkeepers because I don't think mine were good enough for the Premier League, so I'll just go over who signed. Got a few players that are just going to be, being moved on. To be fair, a lot of my big hitters from last year, but it just has to be done. With the problem with Zubov is because he counts as non-EU. He's not worth keeping a hold of, and I just don't think Johnson's good enough for the Premier League, so I'm going to try and move him on. Adolfo again, he's probably not going to cut it in the Premier League, and I've already got better options, to be fair. Stern John, the contract rebel, again he's another one who's just worth selling, to be fair. So we'll see how we get on with. Hopefully we can shift a few of those players, but I'm not too worried about that just now. So yeah, I've brought in some cracking players. Brought in Said, centre back. Okoronkwo, he is fantastic. So the defence is shaping up really well. I brought in Lucas Neal towards the end of last season. He's another good defender, versatile. Scott Wilson from Rangers, I'm not sure, he might get sold on pretty soon. We've got Jensen came in on a free transfer, half decent central midfielder. Mika Hyde, same thing. So there are a few. And we've got Lee Chun-Soo, so it's going to be him and Nicky Ferenko as my attacking midfielders this year. I'll get London into the right wing spot. So yeah, it's all shaping up pretty well. So now that we've started in a new season, we can start looking for a few more players again. So once you get to the start of the second season, you can look for players that have had clauses that have matured. So when it says non-promotion, that means they've got a non-promotion clause there, which means you can pick them up for peanuts sometimes, but you're still obviously looking for quality over quantity, so there's not really much happening with defenders there. Check for a few strikers. So Benito Carboni, decent player, but I'm not sure I'm going to shell out 2 million on a 30-year-old Italian striker. So yeah, nothing really sticks out there. So what we'll do is we'll wait and see once the 1st of January comes around, because you do get a few players running out contracts, and there's a few here that I'm going to go back in for. This guy's just a must-have, so hopefully I can get hold of him. And Tom Madeira, he's a wee hidden gem in Portugal. I'm trying to bring in Nickel Crancher, but he's not being keen so far. He's a good young player to bring in, but he doesn't seem to be interested just yet. Oh yeah, I meant to check. Yeah, so because we only got to the final of the League Cup, we didn't actually get European qualification, which was a shame, but it wasn't realistic to try and think it would pick up wins against Man United or Arsenal, to be fair. So Although we did beat Man United away at Old Trafford, so you never really know. So I'm desperate to get this guy in, and he's kind of not been keen so far, but we'll keep an eye on him because he does become one of the best in the game, to be fair. And I don't mind paying over the odds for this guy because he's just one of the best. Nah, so might need to go back for him later on. But yeah, been quite happy the way transfers have worked out so far. So I'm just going to let you have a look what happens when it gets to 1st of January. Because you will have some players that have not necessarily been interested in coming to sign yet, but once their contract runs out, they get a little bit more open-minded, I think is the right thing to say. But yeah, I'm actually thinking we'll be able to compete in the Premier League, certainly with the defence that we've got there. We're going to have to bring in 3 goalkeepers though. Better have a look at the coaching staff as well. So I'm happy enough for him as assistant manager. So I need probably a couple of fitness coaches. Yeah, so let's have a look at that just now. So be more interested in coming to me. I'll up that to 17, I think. And we can get this guy because he was game for coming last year, but I didn't have the transfer for him. So he's a good one to bring in. Schumacher. Although I'd prefer to get somebody that's got an attacking style. He'll do as the fitness coach. And you know what, I'll just go for Schumacher because he's got good stats, although he's saying he's not interested. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with him. And I'll just punt the guys that I'm not wanting to keep for now. Because they've not developed and like not much point there. There we go. And if I go back to check that scout that I had, yeah, he's not developing, so we'll clear out the scouts because I will definitely be able to get better ones. He's okay though. I'll keep Ian's story, his attributes are fine. And then we'll just have a search and see if we can bring a couple in. Yeah, so you'll see there they've actually got fitness coaching as well. So we'll bring them in as a scout. And those guys, that guy as well. So that'll give me 3 scouts, which is plenty to have a scout about. So I always set a scout for Scandinavia because you can pick up loads of little gems there. There's a few that I've not actually had a look at yet. So I should probably check to see because he's probably moved on to another club by now, which is Kim Kallstrom. He's a legend in the game. Yeah, he's already at Paris Saint-Germain, so I won't get him. So yeah, I'll set that scout up for Scandinavia just now. Let's see what they come back with. So Michael Clegg's left Man United now, so you'll probably find that, yeah, he's happy to speak to me. His stats are really good, but the thing is I've already got 2 right wingers that I'm happy to go with, which is Eunice Linden here and Anchut that I brought in, so I'm not going to go for Clegg. But you can see there, he would be pretty good to bring in on a free transfer, but it's not right for me now. Missed his chance. Right, so I usually wait off on like putting in like any big money transfers until after the 1st of July, because what you want to do is just check to see if there's any high profile players that have came out of contract that you can bring in, and it's more economical that way, of course. So the players that I signed before coming up to the Premier League, they were all, you know, fairly cheap options there. So we'll just filter this out to players that are expired, and see if there's anybody there. So Birandelli, he's another half decent right winger, but he's not any better than the ones I've got, and he's more defensively minded as well. Yeah, so there's not much there, to be honest. Yeah, this guy Tote's a decent striker to bring in, although his finishing's not great. So I'll leave that alone. Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to bring in any frees, so I'll just start searching for what I need, which is basically 3 decent goalkeepers. And we'll see, you want to look at ones that are kind of unsettled, so Bosnich is unsettled at Chelsea there, so I'll likely be able to pick him up for a cool million, so I'll try him as well. Paul Gallagher's a decent young goalie, so he'd be decent for a backup, like one to develop there. Don't want to bring in anybody that's non-EU, so keep an eye on that, and then we'll see if there's anybody. This guy's good at Ipswich, but they'll ask you to break the bank for him, to be fair. Sorenson's not got great fitness stats. Hedman's really good, but Coventry, they'll try and take the piss on the fee, but he's probably worth like just going for, because I need to bring in somebody that's real quality, to be fair. Like Bosnich is okay, but I wouldn't want to be relying on him too much. This guy's actually really good at Livingston as well, if you can get him in for maybe a season or two. So yeah, 3 goalkeepers that we can look at there. Pretty sure I'll get Bosnich in on that one. So yeah, could do with probably another defender or 2 as an upgrade on Scott Wilson. So this guy Dabizas is pretty decent. He seems to be frozen out at Newcastle as well, so he's worth putting in a cheeky bid for. John Curtis, brilliant player at Blackburn. Doherty tends to be one I would avoid, actually. He's kind of overpriced there. Darren Purse is quality, so we'll try for him. I'm just going to throw in some offers and see like who's actually willing to sell without taking the piss too much. This guy's probably worth a season if he's frozen out at PSV. Bertram's well worth a try. I'd even pay a little bit more for him. So yeah, a few there. This guy in Belgium's pretty decent. He's worth a bid. So we'll just kind of get a feel for who's willing to do business. Jankulovski again, he's decent. This guy Michael Dobson's good. He'll have a lot of interest in him, and usually he's got a clause in his contract, but hopefully I can get him. And we've got Luke Young out of contract, so yeah, he's probably worth just bringing in on a free. Try for him. So yeah, there's a few options there building up. We'll see if Auxerre will do business on Mexes there. So yeah, so just looking at what else I'll likely need. A couple of left wingers there. I've got my right wingers in place. I've got Williams as my kind of utility player there. But yeah, I need wingers and I need strikers. So left wingers, have a look for those. So Damien Duff. And you know what, I've got money that I can actually go for these guys. If he's frozen out at Chelsea, but he's going to take up a non-EU slot, so I wouldn't go for him. Neil McCann, Rangers legend. He is actually really fast, but it could just be embarrassing to have Neil McCann playing for you, so I won't do that. Boamorty, cracking player if you can get him without getting the piss taken out, yeah. So yeah, a few players to look at there, and we'll see if there's any kind of strikers that we can pick up for a wee bargain. So you want to look for people like, so this guy Abaru, he is Uruguayan, but he's got Spanish nationality as well. He's frozen out at Deportivo, so he'll be well worth bringing in, and I could probably get that down to about I'd say 3.8 million or something for him, which is well worth it because he's worth more. I'll try 3.6, just be cheeky. So yeah, hopefully I'll get him in. And you can see these guys kind of frozen out in the Spanish B teams that have got good stats. Canuti at West Ham, sometimes he's kind of unhappy there. But you want to just go through it, because the thing with the strikers, you can really get their value up. This guy, Kavidis, again, he wants first team football, he'll be worth a try. So if I can get those two, if Carl Court's unhappy at Newcastle, he's another one to try for. Yeah, like I said earlier in the other videos, that you can always bring in strikers. Pretty straightforward to find these guys. Eugene Daddy, wow. Aberdeen. And this guy's a good left winger actually, so I'll definitely bring him in. So I'll get him for maybe 1.5 there. So that'll solve the left winger. Yeah, so plenty there. So yeah, so thanks for watching again, guys. That's kind of built up my short list for players. Plenty of options there, so I should get the squad beefed up and ready to make a challenge in the Premier League. And what I'll do is I'll set up a home friendly for the 10th of August. And we'll see if we can just go in with one of the big teams there. So we'll see if we can get Chelsea for a friendly there. Cool, so yep, thanks for watching. That's Nottingham Forest, well on their way to setting up a decent Premier League team. 18 million debts, now 25 million in the black. So yeah, all good, and catch you in the next video. Cheers.